It has been revealed that a Tory MP allegedly demanded campaign cash to pay bad people. We're going to read into this exclusive from the Times, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an exclusive from the Times with the headline that it's been revealed that the Tory MP allegedly demanded campaign cash to pay bad people. Mark Menzies, the MP for Fife, used thousands of pounds raised by donors for private expenses. His party has been aware for 3 months and took no action. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share it across social media so others are notified of this video. How many scandals has there been? You know, there have been so many scandals with the Conservative Party. These Tory MPs have been absolutely disgusting and despicable. But what we're going to be reading here, guys, is quite really damning here. And this is something that has been going on for a while. Something that the party was aware of. And essentially what this is criminality here. This is extremely dangerous, really cause for concern. And this MP, luckily at the top, luckily for us guys, that the MP has had the whip removed, which is good. But the damage has kind of already been done. The fact that this man demanded cash to pay bad people, it's really, really horrible. Things from this article are not going to be nice, that is for sure, guys. But this, I just don't understand some people. You know, they really, when they are in positions of power, they really do let themselves take that power for granted. They really do. And you know, this Mark here has got some questions to answer, that is for sure. Let's read into this, guys, more in detail. So a Tory MP is under investigation over allegations that he misused campaign funds and abused his position after making late-night phone calls saying he'd been locked up by bad people who were demanding thousands of pounds, the Times can reveal. Mark Menzies, the Conservative MP for Fife and a government trade envoy, rang an elderly local party volunteer at 3:15 a.m. in December, saying he was locked in a flat and needed £5,000 as a matter of life and death. He rang an elderly local party volunteer at 3:15 a.m. in December, saying he was locked in a flat and needed £5,000 as a matter of life and death. At 3:15 a.m. The sum, which rose to £6,500, was paid by his office manager from her personal bank account and subsequently reimbursed from campaign funds raised from donors. Oh. Some £14,000 given by donors to use on Tory campaign activities had previously been transferred to Menzies' personal bank account and used for his private medical expenses. Yeah, because these guys don't need the National Healthcare Service, do they? The Conservative Party has been aware of the allegations of potential fraud and for more than 3 months and has taken no action. The MP was accused of paying for sex from a male escort in 2014. Allegations. We have to stress that word as well. Allegations. I think it's... Why wasn't the police told about this? Locked up by bad people. A phone call came in the dead of night. "Are you on your own?" the man said with urgency in his voice. "I've got some bad news. They've got me locked in a flat and they want £5,000 to release me." The caller was Mark Menzies, 52, the Conservative MP from Fylde in Lancashire. He had rung his 78-year-old former campaign manager, a woman who the Times is not naming, waking her from her sleep, to ask her to hand over thousands of pounds from a bank account containing donations to the MP's campaign. This just all sounds really, really dodgy and allegedly law-breaking here. Not good at all. Not good. She told Menzies it was 3:15 a.m. She couldn't transfer any money without leaving the house. He became angry, allegedly telling her that it was a matter of life and death, and demanded that she instead lend him the money from her own savings according to an account she has subsequently given to her friends and the Conservative Party. What on earth was going on at 3:15 a.m. that put him in this situation? The woman refused and told the MP she would speak to his long-time constituent office manager Shirley Green in the morning. A few hours later, Green stumped up the money, telling local Tories that she had cash in her ISA to do so. But then the sum demanded had risen to 6,500. This is all allegations again. A day later, having been rescued from his flat, which he had been detained, Menzies ran the 78-year-old again. He told her that he had summoned one of his staffers to London to collect him from a flat. On arrival, the junior employee handed over his own money, a sum thought to be a few £1,000s, which Menzies said he owned to 2 other men. Asked if he was concerned that he could be blackmailed again, Menzies said he would change his phone number. The following day, on another call, Menzies said he needed another £35,000 for medical bills. Told there was no money in the campaign fund's bank account, Menzies was unprepared. "I will raise some more," he allegedly replied. A source close to Menzies said the MP met a man on an online dating website that had gone to the man's flat before subsequently going with another man to a second address where he continued drinking. It was falsely claimed that he had been sick at one point, and several people at the address then demanded £5,000, claiming it was for cleaning up and other expenses. £5,000 for cleaning up. What constitutes such a mess at a place that requires £5,000? You can just tell that something is wrong here. You can tell something is wrong here if all this stuff is true. If the source says Menzies decided to pay them because he was too scared of what would happen otherwise, but he did not have the funds to transfer the money from his own savings. His aides gave him the money as friends who wanted to help. Green was reimbursed with the £6,500 she gave Menzies in December from funds donated by local supporters to cover the MP's campaign expenses. And the money was set up in an account to name Fright Westminster Group and was set up as local business groups to allow supporters to donate to Menzies. So, of course, Menzies said that he had offered to repay this sum, but claimed local Tories controlling the account said he did not need to. The practice of setting up a local business group is common among MPs because donors do not have to declare donations to the Conservative Party in public company accounts. And donors are not publicly declared at all until they reach a certain threshold. It was used to raise funds for his campaign activities and was administered by his former campaign manager and by Green, his office manager. The money was used to repay Green, and this is not the first time that this campaign fund was used to cover Menzies' personal expenses. 4 years ago, shortly before the outbreak of the pandemic, Menzies called his former campaign manager seeking £3,000 from campaign funds she had told friends. He claimed to have personal medical bills due to the urgency he could not pay and promised to sell some shares in order to repay the money. The former campaign manager and Green authorised the transfer and Menzies received it. But the MP is understood to have never repaid the money. Instead, he asked for and received a further sum of £4,000. This is the kind of person who, allegedly, if true, this is the kind of person, it's just like one of those friends who ask you for money and then they say they're going to pay you back and then they end up misplacing or misusing that money, and then they ask for that money back because they've got into another trouble that they're claiming, and then you give them that money and then they get into more trouble and then they ask for more money because they're in a desperate situation. And then they start questioning your relationship and wondering whether you're the kind of friend, whether you're kind of good or happy friend because you gave them the money before but you won't give them money now. What kind of friend does that make you be? Does that sound familiar? I think it does. Those are not friends. People who ask you for money and don't pay you back, they're not friends. People who ask you for money. If you've known of someone for a long time that's never asked you for money and asks you for money, that's a different story. But we're talking about a politician here, Conservative politician, an MP, who had a decent wage, allegedly, continuously asking for money, splashing cash, allegedly, on things that he's claiming here that to have done, medical bills or been trapped in a home or whatnot, been given this money through Conservative campaign donations and not paying them back. Lots of questions here for sure. A source close to the MP disputed this account and said the former campaign manager had been the one who suggested Menzies use funds from the business account to pay his personal medical expenses. She's understood to have denied this. Again, stressing all allegations, guys. Sources claim that the donors would have been happy to donate for this purpose, but in order to avoid disclosing details of Menzies' health, they were asked not to. They argued that paying the medical bills to help keep Menzies functioning as an MP were a legitimate use of the funds. Several years passed before Menzies again received funds from the account. In November, by then, the Greens had been replaced as an administrator by another local party member. The sum received amounted to £7,000. Menzies had not repaid any of the $14,000 he had received from the business group fund, money that had been given by donors for campaigning and not for his personal expenses. One donor who gave a four-figure sum to the business group said he had donated after being told by Menzies that the money would be used for campaigning. He wanted police to investigate the alleged misuse of the funds. In the aftermath of the 3:15 a.m. phone call in December, Menzies appeared to have tried to keep those who knew about it on side, although this has been denied by those allies. He asked his former campaign manager if she would run his campaign during the next general election, telling her that it was going to be a dirty election. I don't want any gossip or scandal. Another occasion, he gave her a large bunch of flowers. Nevertheless, at the start of January, she reported what had happened to the Conservative Cheek Party whip, Simon Hart, detailing Menzies' misuse of donor money and the alleged abuse of privilege in pressuring staff into handing over their own savings for his personal use. An investigation was opened, with the case subsequently transferred from the whip's office to the Conservative campaign headquarters, CCHQ. When Menzies became aware that the male employee who picked him up had confided in a friend about what happened, he took steps to try and prevent the allegations becoming public, allegedly saying that he would deny everything if the press got onto him. Again, this is all allegations, so we don't know. We have to stress the word allegations in all this. I really have to stress that word, guys. Sex, drugs, and a drunk dog. Menzies was born in Ayrshire and was raised by his mother after his father, who worked in the Merchant Navy, died a month before his birth. He studied economics and social history at the University of Glasgow and worked in the retail sector at Marks & Spencer's and Asda before entering politics. The unmarred MP had never publicly confirmed his sexuality, but has appeared on a list of gay MPs produced by the website Pink News. He was first elected as MP for Fife in 2010 as one of David Cameron's A-list candidates and was earmarked for a rapid rise, quickly tapped up a post as Parliamentary Private Secretary. However, his ascent up in the ranks was halted in 2014 when he was at the centre of a sex for money scandal. Ricardo Santos, 19, a Brazilian rent boy, told the Sunday Mirror that the MP had paid him for sex and asked him to buy an illegal drug. Santos claimed that Menzies had taken the drugs on previous occasions. Menzies, then 42, resigned as a ministerial aide, but insisted that some of the allegations were untrue and claimed he would be settling the record straight in due course. He has not held a ministerial role since. 3 years later, Menzies was interviewed by the police over bizarre accusations that he had deliberately got an adequate dog drunk and, when challenged over his actions, started a fight with his friend. The dog reportedly required emergency veterinary treatment for intoxication and poisoning. I hope that's not true. Menzies told the press at the time that the allegations were false and malicious, and police had dismissed the claim. A source close to the MP that denied that Menzies had any involvement in the dog drinking alcohol. They claimed that the dog had drunk alcohol and had been placed onto the grass where the friend fell asleep, and that the friend had given alcohol to the dog on previous occasions. Most recently, Menzies' Lancashire constituency had been abuzz with gossip about a drunken incident at a last night at the Proms concert featuring Catherine Jenkins, held on the grounds of Lytham Hall in August. Menzies, who was invited to the event by a local mayor, is said to have turned up intoxicated and got into a row of other patrons after discovering that seats had not been reserved for his party within the VIP section. One attendee said the MP started kicking the chairs and poking the people in the front row, creating disturbance for ticket holders who had paid £150 each for the event. He was spoken by security and appeared to be heavily intoxicated by the end of the concert. A source close to the MP acknowledged that he had too much to drink, but he hadn't intentionally poked anyone and may have done it by accident when one waving a flag. When you are drunk, you will do stupid things. But that's still no defence if he did what he did there, poke somebody. But I'm not. Again, it is allegations. The allegations against Menzies were reported to senior Tories more than 3 months ago, but the wheels of party justice have turned slowly. Now, there's absolutely no question. We know that the Conservatives, there may be more scandals within the Conservative Party that we don't know about that are taking place, and the only reason, and once they become public, it'll become even more scandalous. These allegations are obviously extremely serious in criminality for sure. Then this former campaign manager has given her account multiple times and sent evidence, including bank statements, to CCHQ. The MP has been interviewed by the Chief Whip has admitted that he was locked up and he had used campaign funds for private medical bills, although he claims that he was authorised by the signatories of the accounts was fine. What do you mean by he was locked up? So he ended up being in prison overnight, in a jail cell overnight? The 78-year-old who received a phone call from a deviant Tory who has for decades been heavily involved in the party efforts in the constituency. She had told friends that she feels betrayed by the way the matter has been handled and believes CCHQ was content to brush it under the carpet. In the meantime, Menzies had continued to plan to stand at the next election. The true blue seat has been in the Conservative hands for decades, and Menzies enjoys a majority of more than 16,000. I wonder how those Conservatives, if they were shown the story in detail, how they would feel about it. I generally wonder. The constituency borders Blackpool South, where the former Conservative MP Scott Benton recently resigned after he was exposed by the Times offering lobby ministers in exchange for money. It remains to be seen whether Sunak faces another by-election headache in the same region. In a statement, Menzies said, "I strongly dispute the allegations put to me. I have fully complied with all the rules for declaration. As there is an investigation ongoing, I will not be commenting further." Spokesman for Simon Hart, the Tory party chief whip, said, following a call with the chief whip, Mark Menzies has agreed to relinquish the Conservative whip pending an outcome of the investigation. Conservative Party spokesperson said the Conservative Party is investigating allegations made regarding a member of Parliament. The process is rightfully confidential. All parties take all allegations seriously and will investigate any matters put to them. This is quite damning, to say the least. Yes, of course, we have to stress the word allegations. These are allegations. But it is extremely damning. I think Mark should not in any way, shape or form stand whatsoever. I think he should. I generally think that if the people of Fife want it, they should be entitled to a by-election. I think This is extremely damaging. You know, some of these Conservative MPs and some of the allegations that have come across and ones that have been guilty of, it's extremely despicable, the Conservatives. But the thing is that they knew, the Conservatives, allegedly, they knew about these allegations. They knew about this stuff. And they tried to hide it from the public. Rather than actually deal with this situation, they tried to keep it behind closed doors. And I suppose the million-dollar question has to be, why the hell the police weren't involved in all of this? It's outrageous, if it's all true. It is absolutely outrageous. And, oh, man. How many more scandals? How many more scandals are there, guys? Are they ever going to end? You know, I'm so sick and tired of these scandals. I'm so sick and tired of the Conservatives, guys. And I know so many people are too. I'm so sick of them. I'm sick of this crap. And you know what? I don't like Labour and like some of the things that they're doing. But you know what? I like I said it before and I say it again. You know what? There may be some bad apples in the Labour Party, absolutely. But they're nothing compared to this lot running the country, running the United Kingdom. These lot in Westminster, nothing compared to this lot. They really, really are so vile, so vile, and they are covering themselves, knowing these scandals after scandals that they're doing. They are everything that the British public is not. These Conservatives, they are everything that we are not. You know, completely against the values of what it is to be a decent human being. That's how I feel when I feel about the Conservatives. You know, they really have completely lost their identity. Completely lost their identity. And they just don't care about what we think. You know, they do all this stuff. So much taxpayers' money gets wasted. And they just don't care about us. They really don't. It's just infuriating, guys. They just don't care. Part of me does feel like we should just completely wipe out the Conservatives. This general election really, really matters. And we need it now. So what do you guys make of this story? What do you make of Mark Menzies? What do you make of the exclusive, the alleged stories? Be careful with your words, obviously, I would say. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you found this video informative, please hit the like button. Greatly appreciate. Share it across social media so others are notified of this video. And subscribe because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to go one step further and financially support me in the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p. Or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content there as well. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to catch you all very, very soon.